I loved Malcolm because to me the greatest man in my life was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the motive that Elijah Muhammad used was his mission from God to resurrect us from mental, moral, spiritual, social, economic, and political death. That was the motive. But he had another motive sitting up under that motive. Like there's a root and then there's a taproot. You may think you're at the root, but there's another root below that root. Like there's a meaning under the meaning, under the meaning, under the meaning. And if you keep going far enough under the meaning, you'll find God. But surface dwellers will never find God. Surface dwellers will only find that which is on the surface. All riches are buried. And anybody that wants to become rich and doesn't want to dig deep into the earth for its treasures, or deep into the ocean for its treasures, or deep into the consciousness of self, or deep into the reservoir of knowledge, will never get wealthy with wisdom. If you just want to be a surface dweller, satisfied with little, then there's a little on the surface for everybody. But if you want to be like God, you got to keep digging for more and more knowledge. Malcolm had an insatiable desire to learn. He was a voracious reader. Everything of value he could get his hands on, he read. But he didn't just read to quote. He read with understanding because he was given a criterion by which he could judge the knowledge that he received. Most of you are like intellectual pigs. I'm going to say that again. Most of you are like intellectual hogs. See, a hog has no digestive system. The cow will chew it up here. It has 3 digestive systems. It's getting it together. And every time it's digesting it, separating this from that only the best will get down to become a part of the body, and the rest will be cast out as waste. But when you're a pig, everything you eat becomes a part of you, so that you become a big barrel of educational swill. So this little piggy went to market, and this little piggy stayed home. But wherever those pigs were, they did not know how to differentiate truth and falsehood, and the value of real knowledge from theory. And so white folk laid on us a whole bunch of mess, and he called it education and knowledge and book learning, and we, like the pig, kept our head down, slurped it all up. And then when it came time to produce, we couldn't produce nothing. White folks know that what they've given us as knowledge is a joke. But the wise among us, who have buttressed and complemented what they give with self-knowledge, are able to look into everything that they teach and separate the wheat from the chaff, and take the wheat into the storehouse of knowledge and act on the principles thereof. Elijah Muhammad's sub-motive was to make helpers, to help him in the awesome task that God had laid on his shoulders. The task of raising up a dead nation. Elijah Muhammad was not a selfish man. He was not a man motivated by greed. He wanted people to help him get to you with the word. And everybody that came to him, he would search them to see if they would make a good laborer. And even if they were a plumber and just knew how to sweat a pipe, he would show them how to sweat black people together. Can you do that? When Malcolm went to Philadelphia, Malcolm got a job as a painter just to make a little money. And he wrote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad he had gotten a job as a painter. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote him a letter saying, do you want to paint the walls of men? Or do you want to paint the hearts of men with the truth? In other words, just like Jesus, he found Peter fishing. He said, come on, get up out of here. I'm going to make you a fisher of men. Why are you going to make me a fisher of men, Jesus? Because I got a mission. And my mission is to retrieve men out of the sea of sin. Will you help me? So Peter came, James came, John came, Mark came, Thomas came. But you didn't find them doing the thing he was doing. Wasn't nobody on that team. Nobody had that job. So now you want to make a laborer? Somebody to teach black people? Yes, that's what I really want. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, everybody that came, like the words of Jesus, before me was a thief and a robber. He praised Marcus Garvey and he praised Noble Drew Ali as forerunners. And he honored their work and told all of his followers that it was a good work and a noble work. He didn't like the preachers because the preachers were on the payroll of the slave master. He didn't like the preachers because the preachers were more interested in hooping than in teaching. He didn't like the tune of a preacher. He didn't like it if a man started He didn't like that. He didn't want none of his ministers to sound like that. He hated it. He said, teach the people. Preach to the people. No more. Listen to this. When he was teaching one day, he came home from the temple. Master Farad Muhammad was there. And so Master Farad asked the others, how did he do? And they were saying he did well. He really preached. There wasn't a dry eye in the temple. Master Farad got a very stern look on his face. And he told them, brother, don't you make my people cry. I came to wipe away their tears. Even if you teach them good, don't make the people cry. So that's why when we teach, we come before the people with a happy spirit. I teach always with a smile. Because I got good news for you. Your day of suffering is just about over.